All right, all right, all right. What's happening, Steeler Nation? What's happening, Steeler Nation? What's happening, Steeler Nation? What's popping, guys? Welcome, 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 man, to the latest episode of what I like to call the knee-jerk reaction show. Very quick in and out knee-jerk reaction to what we saw in today's game. I did not take notes. I told you guys I don't really do that anymore because, again, in the past, my post-game shows were extremely too long. So now it's kind of quick hits, in and out. And I'll explain to you guys again how I watched the game once again. My Sundays have been crazy, but I watched the game in pieces, and I'll just give you my quick thoughts. I'll listen to what you guys have to say, and then we out of here. Excuse me, guys, burping and whatever. Got my coffee here. You know, on the weekend, just sometimes I'm just letting you guys know I do drink coffee. Every now and then I'll do an iced coffee in the house. You know, we got the big giant espresso machine. Me and my wife are into coffee like that. But I usually drink hot coffee. But every now and then I'll do a little iced coffee, you know, depending on my mood. But let's get into it, guys. Let's say what's up to the early commenters. My man, Y Diggy in the building. My man, CT Pittman in the building. CT Pittman, my fellow Battlefield enthusiast, if you will, you know, for you guys in the video game world. The infamous Tim is in the building. Steeler Cards in the building. Vista Light in the building. Rajan 39 is in the building. Dark Rams in the building. Lee Sharp is in the building. David McLeod is in the building. Sonny Rothmiller in the building. Brother Mark is in the building. My good brother Kenyon, of course, always in the building. Leonard Green in the building. James Tresvant in the building. Who else is up in here early, man? Charles Jackson in the building. What's popping, brother? The master of music is in the building. He said, what's up? Not crashing out today. Cody, the Chris Bryant fan. Wow, okay. Quite a long name there. What's up, Cody? Afro Thunder, the real deal. And that's it. It is real deal. Battlefield 6 is the real deal. But what's happening, guys? Listen, let's get right to it. Look, I told you guys, and I appreciate y'all bearing with me, man, as I am so busy right now with obligations. You know, you guys know that I coach. I'm an assistant coach of my son's football team. We got our win yesterday. We stamped a place into the playoffs. We sitting at 4-2. Beautiful thing, man. Great experience for the kids, man. So maybe I'll get into a little bit of that later. Also, today, my son, of course, y'all know he plays basketball. So basketball is starting to pick up as well. In our area here where I live, man, in Pennsylvania, I'm not too far from Lancaster. Lancaster has been running these open gyms for, you know, basketball. USA Basketball has been running these open gyms. So I took him to that. It's from 12:30 to 2. So as you guys would know, I'm sitting there watching the first half of the game on my phone. Shout out to the NFL app showing it. So I was able to watch it like that, you know, and doing it like this, guys. I'm looking up, watching him, watching the game, watching him. He did great today, as by the way. So that's how I saw the first half. All right, up until about 5 minutes left in the first half, I get in the car, I prop the phone up, you know, right here, you know, the little magnet thing that people use sometimes for directions or what have you. And I'm driving and listening. Couldn't really look at it, obviously, because I'm driving. And I was able to see the entire second half at home. So I'm just giving you guys the background of how I watched the game. And I just have light things to say. And it's going to be like that for a while if I'm not at home intently watching the game. So here's what I would say first and foremost, what I noticed right off the bat. Steelers did a really good job defensively, man, maintaining the run. You know, and I'm going to double check my eye test here as I'm looking at the stats. Quinshon Judkins, shout outs to that guy, man. I was a little concerned about him. You know, any of us here in Steeler Nation that were looking for a running back, we knew guys like Judkins and guys like Travion Henderson and Caleb Johnson, guys like that were on the Steelers' radar. So, of course, I paid attention to Judkins and Henderson. How could you not? You know, if you watched college football last year, those two guys, the 1-2 punch. So a little concerned with him, man, because he's Judkins. Steelers held him to just 36 yards. 12 attempts, 36 yards. They averaged 3 yards. Well, he averaged 3 yards and a long of 6. Am not mad at that. Next up, Jerome Ford, 2 attempts, 17 yards. He averaged 8.5. He did have a long of 12, but 17 yards on 2 attempts. And then the Sampson kid, I'm not sure of his first name, but D. Sampson is how he's listed here. 3 attempts, 12 yards, average of 4, and a long of 7. Grand total, Pittsburgh Steelers offered or had 17 attempts against them for only 65 yards, an average of 15.5. For that, folks, round of applause to the Steelers' run defense. Things like that I was able to see quickly, very quickly. So shout outs to the Steelers defense. Like I said, I noticed that right on, just again, even as I'm sitting there watching it on my phone, and watching my son and watching the phone at the same time, was able to quickly see that. The Steelers stepped it up, man. Did not give up any big runs. Really, if you want to, by sheer definition, only one explosive run, which was the 12-yard run, but that's it. Steelers were flying around the field today, man. That's what I like to see. 11 to the ball, right? And again, this is fundamental stuff, guys. And it's even more apparent to me now coaching 11 and 12-year-olds, right? It is more apparent the stuff that we say about these NFL teams, the fundamentals. Things like guys like John Mitchell used to preach to the Steelers D-line. Every man to the ball. Let me pause really quick right now and give a shout out to Sean Manahan. I appreciate that Wonder Bread. Round of applause. Appreciate it. He said, Dylan Sampson. Thank you, Sean, for giving me the info. I appreciate that, as well as attaching some Wonder Bread to it. So thank you so much. And if anybody else, if I miss it, just let me know in the comments, guys. I generally can hear it because I have the alert. But if I miss you guys, any Wonder Bread that you have already posted or will post in the future, please let me know because I do not want it to go unacknowledged. All right, let's get back to it, guys. Listen. Very impressive, because that was one of the things that I talked about. You guys remember the first couple of weeks of the season, I was concerned about the explosive runs and what we allowed. And the Steelers, you could probably say for the last, I want to say 3 games, they've kind of shored that up. So shout outs to, the individual, which I'll find out watching all 22, or shout outs to whatever we may have been doing differently. In terms of scheme, I don't think it's scheme because it ain't but so much more. I mean, there's different things you can do on the D-line as far as the technique you play and gaps and things like that. But for the most part, I would assume it's not that much of that. It's more so guys executing. It's also, I'm sure, guys like Harmon is making a difference. And like I said, guys, watching the game on my phone in the first half and, you can't always see who made the tackle and stuff like that. Because as I'm, watching it, again, I'm telling you, I was at an open run, for my son playing ball. And his school ball coach was right there with me. We talking and stuff. So I'm not paying full attention. So by Tuesday, I will be able to tell you guys more details as far as who did what. And, of course, by that time, I will have seen some all-22. But largely, just got to give a shout-out to the Steelers defense in that regard. Now, a couple of things I do want to talk about really quick while I'm talking about defense. Listen, secondary is playing pretty good. I saw quite a few plays where we were in position to either tackle the catch, get a PBU, get an interception. Joey Porter Jr. looked like he had a pretty solid game. There was a couple plays, man, when they showed the replay. He's still a little grabby, but, didn't get too much called on him today. I know we had penalties. I just can't remember right now. Maybe you guys in the chat would know. I can't remember if JPJ got one. I think he did. But I'm hoping to see his trend to go this way in terms of not being penalized. Because, again, the kid plays tough. He has the body type. He has the tenacity. He has the speed enough. you know, we just got to make sure he can start to play more clean. And like I said, I can't remember if he got one today. Let me come back to the chat and see if any of you guys remember. I don't remember. Some of you guys are saying bogus penalties. JPJ did and TJ Watt impression offside. Yeah, those offsides was kind of crazy. JPJ got a neutral zone infraction as well. Okay. But he didn't get in, from what you guys remember, he didn't get any like ball in the air or pass interference plays, like any holding or PIs. I don't know. I'm not recalling it right now. I don't think he did. But needless to say, I would say I want that to continue to go trend in an upward trajectory, because again, just kind of seeing how he played today, man. If he can play clean, I'm liking what our secondary can bring to the table as a whole. And speaking of the penalties, man, yeah, those penalties called on TJ Watt, come on, man. You know, but even outside of those two, we did have a couple more penalties that we definitely need to clean up. Had a few on offense. So again, I want the guys to start playing a little more disciplined and playing more clean. None of it really hurt us today, but still, you want to be able to play clean the best you can. What else did I notice? Deshaun Elliott, man, this is the reason why if you guys saw the thumbnail, you know, I literally was standing there and was waiting for the replay, and I took that shot when they showed the replay. That's why he's in my thumbnail. Man, I love Deshaun Elliott a lot. I really, 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 really do. Round of applause to the infamous Tim, man. I appreciate that, brother, for that Wonder Bread. All right, this is an interesting topic because we've kind of talked about this here on the show, and some of you guys feel one way or the other. He said, number 10, Roman Wilson's lack of snaps is concerning. He says SM took his spot. I'll say this. It's not concerning to me yet. Not yet. Again, the reason why I say that, guys, is we don't know what's transpiring, right? We don't. And the reason why I say that, because we've seen this before, right? We've seen before where players, for whatever reason in the Steelers system, they slow roll them sometimes, right? I remember, and this was way back, but I even remember how long it took for them to start getting Martavis Bryant on the field in his rookie season. It could be other things that they need from Roman Wilson. It could be scheme related. It could be a lot of different things. You understand what I'm saying? This is his de facto rookie season. I'm not concerned yet. And at the end of the day, man, y'all know kind of how I roll with it. Listen, if we're performing well with or without a player, that's all I care about. I'm rooting for Roman Wilson. I know some people are down on him. Me personally, I would say it's too soon for y'all to take that approach. Just my opinion. I mean, this is the Steelers' what, 5th game? This is his 5th game into his NFL career. So I'm not concerned yet, but I understand any of you guys that feel that way. I'm just saying to you, I'm not taking that approach yet, because honestly, it doesn't matter so much to me if the team is performing well, right? Whoever is playing ahead of him, or a Calvin Austin, when Calvin Austin was playing ahead of him, I didn't have a problem with that because Cal was producing, right? And if Roman Wilson pans out, he will. If he don't, it's back to the drawing board. So that's kind of how I approach it with players. You know, I'm just not taking the approach of, oh, this guy's a bust. I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that yet. And I'm not saying you're doing that, Tim, but there's many others out there that are calling him a bust. And I'm like, you guys are being way too hard on a guy who did not play last season and today played was suited up for the 5th game of his NFL career. Actually made a catch today. It's too soon to hit the panic button on that kid. Just my opinion. Round of applause to CT Pittman, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread, brother. He says, I was saying earlier, I like the physicality I saw today, both sides of the ball. That is still a football. Absolutely correct, my friend. I felt like the Steelers were playing Steeler football today. Absolutely. I mean, them boys on defense, woo, they was out there. Them boys was hitting. And that's why I got Deshaun Elliott in my thumbnail. Listen, I guess to the letter of the law, that was a penalty, but I don't think so. Because I don't think he was hunting for the dude's head. And honestly, I want my safety to still play like that. I don't want my safety to tiptoe. I love the fact that he played just like that, and if he gets called, he gets called. I love that. Don't take away that dog in him. What is it that Tomlin always says? I'd rather have to say whoa than sick him. I want all of my defenders to keep that whoa, like, whoa, pull it back, young man, instead of me saying, all right, go get him, go get him. You understand what I'm saying? I love that. And to me, he wasn't head hunting. It's unfortunate. I see it around the league all the time, not just for the Steelers, but even other teams, man. It's unfortunate for defensive players getting called for some of these penalties when they are already in the motion of tackling. If the body or shoulder pad or whatever happens to hit up here on a player, that should not be a penalty. That should be something that is reviewable. You can see intent. You can see if somebody is launching and targeting somebody's head down or whatever, or if they're just going a certain direction and the offensive player happens to bend down. But I love Deshaun Elliott, man. I love that guy. He is definitely, again, of course, TJ Watt, of course, Cam Hayward are the captains. But Deshaun Elliott, to me, is setting the tone on that back end. And we see it. We see it, guys. Love it. Beautiful football. Love it. Another round of applause, man, to David McLeod. Appreciate that Wonder Bread. And hey, you guys still in my thunder, man, but I love it. This is why we family. Absolutely, man. Like I said, David is still in my thunder here. This is going to be one of my other points. Love the inclusion of Donnell Washington today, man. Love it. Love it. I love the play call to open the start of the game, Arthur Smith. Love it. Love that play action and getting Aaron Rodgers booting out a little bit and hitting Donnell Washington. Only thing I need Donnell Washington to do is to understand. I know it's been a while since you've been running and bumbling down the field, open field, but make sure you know somebody's behind you. Look up at the board or whatever, or look behind you, because that could have been a fumble. But I love that play call, and I just love the inclusion of Donnell Washington down the field, not just short, middle of the field. Yes, let's get this big boy rumbling and bumbling and stumbling. Love it. Speaking of the middle of the field, guys, if I had a critique from so far what I saw today, just again, this is knee-jerk reaction. Defense played great, but I still feel like, we give up too much in the middle of the field still. I feel like there's something that we're doing that is open a lot, right? Even like how much they were feeding, they started to feed Jerry Jeudy, which it wasn't always in the middle of the field, but I feel like teams, and this has been, for some years now, I feel like teams start getting a little rhythm on us, right? I feel like it's something that we show them defensively where it must just be the same type of look. And it's funny because when I watched the film from last week, sometimes we would throw a disguise out there, but I think we give teams enough of a look to where they're comfortable and thinking they know what we're going to do, and we allow quarterbacks to get comfortable, right? Dylan Gabriel didn't play half bad, man. If you take, outside of the sacks, I'm glad we got the sacks on him, but I just feel like our defense, and again, you're going to give things up in the NFL. It happens, but I want us to get a little bit better defending the middle of the field because, I really do. That's all I'm going to say. Looks like we got another Wonder Bread. My man, Y Diggy, appreciate that, brother. He says, Shout out to Broderick Jones. He's been improving the last few weeks, and today he kept 95 quiet for the most part. Yeah, I don't think, did we have a sack? I don't think we did. Let me take a look. Hold on, I'm in the stats. No, they did not give up a sack today. Another efficient day for Aaron Rodgers. Look, he don't have to. We don't need him to do too much. 21 completions out of 30 attempts, 235 yards, 70% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. And speaking of what I was referring to, guys, like this kid here, Fanning. Fanning had 7 catches for 81 yards, and most of those was like in the middle of the field. And that's what I'm talking about. And even though it seemed like Jerry Jeudy was starting to go, not really. And that's why I would say to you guys, too, I'm just talking in general, people who watch the sport, just because a guy gets a first down or makes a catch here, makes a catch there, don't panic, right? Because in reality, they still didn't do much, right? Gabriel was 221 yards, only 55% completions, no touchdowns, and sacked 6 times. And while at times, in real time, it felt like Jeudy was getting hot, he still only had 5 catches for 43 yards. Fanning had most of the catches. Like I said, 7 for 81. He had the bigger day out of everybody. So we played relatively well, man. Really, really, really did. Look at this. Look. Devin Bush. Devin Bush led Cleveland in tackles. He had 9 total, 7 solos. How funny is that? It's cool to see that kid still in the league, man. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Devin Bush. Now, let's take a look really quick stats-wise at our defense. Then I'll talk a little bit about DK Metcalf as well. Defensively, look at this. Deshaun Elliott, 12 total tackles, 4 solo. Patrick Queen, 9 total tackles. Jalen Ramsey, 6 total tackles, but 2 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. Love it. It's interesting, right? It's interesting, something I noticed about Jalen Ramsey, and I'll get to you guys here in a moment. Let me grab another Wonder Bread here from CT Pittman. Shout outs to you, brother. Thank you so much. He says, LB's dropping too deep in their zone is what I noticed, Sim. And in man coverage, our CBs were getting beat on the inside leverage and short yardage. CT, it's going to drive me to drink, man. And something stronger than this coffee. It's going to drive me to go right up the stairs in my little liquor closet and pour up some Don Julio Reposado straight. It's going to drive me to not even put it in a margarita. It's going to drive me to drink, man. I swear, I just don't. Guys, listen, when you put up a defensive effort like that, and this is what I want to say. I am not an NFL coach. As a matter of fact, I'm coaching football for my first time in my life this year. A junior midgets team, not the offensive word, it's Pop Warner, YouTube, don't get me. You know, my division is we're the Junior Panthers of Central York, PA. Midget division, 11 and 12-year-olds, right? It's my only coaching experience. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I can coach better than Mike Tomlin, Terrell Austin, anybody on the Steelers staff. But I just don't understand why is it that we just allow these things. And like I said, it's one of those statistics that people will overlook because you win the game. Oh, it didn't cost them in the long run. But to me, when you get down into the nitty-gritty, the next-gen stats and all of that, I would love to see what the percentage is of how often the Steelers have given up first downs or weighty downs, as Tomlin calls them, and 3rd and short, even 4th and short, allowing the receivers and or tight ends to have inside leverage. I would love to see the statistics on that. It just works entirely too well. Yeah. I don't like it. uh Master of music. Yeah, but it is what it is, man. Listen, I just feels like it's painful to watch. I'll just say that. It's just painful to watch at times. Dang, I just lost my thought. What was I saying, guys, before my man hit us with that Wonder Bread? I was saying something. I was talking about Patrick Queen, Ramsey. Oh, Ramsey. Have y'all noticed that for the first time, we have a guy who is everything in the secondary? He can play all positions, but I'm going to utilize this specific position to bring home the point. We finally now have a slot corner that can get home on our corner blitz. We have not seen this work since Mike Hilton. We have not seen it. I'm not even going to say consistently. I'm going to say we ain't really seen it work. I could be wrong, but I swear I don't recall us getting a sack from a slot corner since Mike Hilton left. Excuse me. I swear. And if we did, it might have been one or two. And Jalen Ramsey has already done it in a couple games. So finally, finally we're making things happen, especially that last one, man, how he comes in and Dylan tries to run to his left and he angles himself a little bit, change of direction, using that agility and hawking him down. Love it. Defense balled out. I need them boys to get on the jugs machine, though. There was a couple times we had some picks. Juan Thornhill, you had one literally right in the breadbasket, and you dropped it. But largely, guys, I don't have any complaints with the defense today. As I get ready to close this show out, I told you guys this show is relatively short. They played great, man. They dominated, did what they had to do. And I know people always want to say, oh, well, they had some injuries. Every team has injuries. Every team. So let's stop with that. They're in the NFL. It's a 53-man roster for a reason. Next man up. And when you have the quote-unquote advantage, you're supposed to dominate. I will say this, too. I was a little concerned early in that game. Probably the first half, we couldn't move the ball much. And remember, we talked about this. We said that Cleveland, I talked about it on Tuesday, Cleveland was the number 2 team with yards allowed against the rush and number 7 in the pass. So it didn't shock me. So let's see what we finished up with. Not too bad. We actually had a total of 100 yards. Jaylen Warren, 11 for 52. Gainwell, 6 for 22. Caleb Johnson, 6 for 15, had a long of 9. That's good to see from him, a long of 9. Give him time. He'll be fine. Definitely like that they pulled out the Jonnu Smith, the little handoff, because that's something that they did with him in Tennessee, and we knew we would see it at some point. Let's see. Actually, we lost 3 yards because Mason Rudolph had 3 kneel down. So we would have actually had plus 100, but we ended up with a team rushing stat of 100 yards. But DK Metcalf, guys, once again, having a big enough game. I remember some of you guys saying a couple weeks ago, oh, we ain't seeing enough of DK. Guys, I told you, just be patient, man. 4 catches don't seem like a lot, but when there's 4 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown, that's a pretty solid day. And a long of 25, I'll take that. Donnell Washington, 3 receptions for 62 yards. A long of 36. I definitely will take that. And Roman Wilson, 1 catch, 12 yards. I'll take it. Pat Fryermuth, 1 catch for 11 yards. So Pat Fryermuth was not in the fold as much today. It was Donnell Washington. And listen, guys, I'll just say this as I close this out. The Steelers dominated today. They looked relatively efficient. And some people are going to say, oh, it's Cleveland. But I would say, no. Cleveland's defense is pretty good this year. It was good to see us do what we did against that defense. Obviously, we made some type of adjustments in that second half, and we started moving the ball. So really like that. Aaron Rodgers is playing as good as he could play. I'm going to go analyze the O-line because there was a couple times it seemed like Aaron was pressured. We didn't give up a sack, but I'm definitely going to analyze those guys. And, hey, guys, we 4-1, man. And wow. Too bad Lamar Jackson is out, but it is what it is. Jesus, man. Ravens are 1-5. Yikes. 1-5. Wow. That is crazy. And I mean, it's never over, but I'm telling you, if the Ravens lose another game or two, But just like I was telling my wife, guys, I will say this before we go. Here's another Wonder Bread. I'll get to you just a moment, Walter. I was just telling my wife, I said, look, if everything goes well, after 5 days from now, counting today, Steelers should be 5-1. It's never a guarantee, but I feel like we should be able to beat Cincinnati. Steelers could very well be 5-1 by this time going into next Sunday. And they're going to need it because their schedule starts to pick up. So I love the fact in a way that we're getting these two teams back to back and you get that little mini bye because we're going to need it because that schedule starts to kick up. But really proud of what I saw. Just to remind you guys, Kenyon and I decided that we will do a still table after that 6th game play. So what we'll do next Tuesday, not this one coming, but the following Tuesday, we will have played the 6 games. And at that time, we'll do another still table and discuss how we feel about this team, man. But great win today. Make sure you come back on Tuesday. Let me grab Walter Worthy. Appreciate the Wonder Bread, brother. He says, wow. Be careful, Walter. That if you giving him any credit, then they're gonna get you. He says, kudos to Coach Tomlin and Arthur Smith, able to get to 5-1 with the worst QB in the league. Shout out to PFF. Not 5-1 yet, right? We're 4-1. But I like you predicting the future. It would be nice to end up 5-1. But yeah, shout outs to him, man. Again, we all had speculation and we all had opinions and all that before the season. And so far early on, like I said, the testament is going to come as we continue to go down this journey. But so far, to be sitting where they're sitting, man, I can't really complain much. And hopefully they just continue to be better. But that's it, guys. Any last words before I go? Some of you guys are saying Broderick Jones did a good job. Okay. He sure did, Alexis. Shout outs to Alexis. I think, if I'm not mistaken, another one of our lovely ladies is still in nation. Broderick sprung some runs. He did. Broderick Jones was making some good blocks on some of those runs. CT, you already know what it is. I'm going to be on that battlefield, man. A little bit later. Not right now. I'm gonna just go chill out, watch some football, man. Since we got our thing out the way. Oh, really quick. So I'll tell you guys, man. So my son's team, for you guys that are new, my son is playing, Pop Warner. He's in 6th grade, but where we live, 6th grade isn't middle school yet. Middle school is 7th and 8th. So the division that they play in is the midgets. So we have like rank, pony, midgets, and we're 4-2. We won our game yesterday, man. My son, Mason, he had a big sack yesterday. They got him moving around. On defense, he's playing inside linebacker, and then sometimes we'll switch to a 5-3 if we're playing against, a running team, and they'll move him up on the line. But I want to say we were in I think we ran the 3-3-5 yesterday when he got his sack. The end tried to block him. He kind of stiff-armed him out of the way, went to the quarterback, made the sack. They had a great game. We won the game. 7-6. We faced off against this team that was 5-0. And me and the other coaches knew that we were the better team because we've scouted them. Guys, y'all should see me. We be out here scouting these kids. We'll go watch them, film them. And we knew exactly what they were going to do, and we were the better team. We couldn't get anything going in the first half, but in the second half, we was able to break off a big run. And it's funny because I'm not the head coach, but a lot of times he allows me and the other assistant coach to kind of watch and see what's going on. Here's what's funny. I told the coach early in the game, I said, hey, we have a play. I'm not going to say it because, I found out some of these kids actually watch me, right? Some of these kids have found my TikTok and all that, so I'm not going to say what the play was, but we actually have a run play that goes through, we keep it simple for them. It goes in the 4 gap or on the other side, the 3. And that was wide open. I was telling the coach, I said, I think we're going to be able to hit this play at some point. He said, okay, I'll keep an eye on it. We came back to it in the 4th quarter. He runs the play, and our fullback, 40-yard touchdown. Bust wide open. And then even after the game, he said, man, you was right. He said, I was just waiting for the right time to call that play. So I give myself a little credit for scouting in and saying that's going to bust open at some point. And that's how we won. We hit our in that league, they only give us 2 points for kicking. You only get 1 for going for it, right? So we hit our de facto 2-point conversion, and that's how we won the game. We did not give up a defensive touchdown. The only way that the other team scored is we stopped them on the 2-yard line, and then they ended up sacking our quarterback, knocking the ball out of his hand, and recovered the ball in the end zone. That's the only reason why they scored. But yeah, so any of you guys that have been asking for that update, there it is. And it's cool, man, because they say last year they were 2-6. And here we are 4-2 with already stamped our place in the playoffs. So that should be cool. Should be cool. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. If nothing else, please do this right here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Outside of that, my normal PSA, I need you guys to stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. And for you newcomers, if you're not familiar, make sure you come back on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which we should be able to switch that back in a few weeks. But 9 p.m. Eastern time for Terrible Towel Tuesday, where we chop it up a little more about the game and we kind of just talk about the current state of the team. Outside of that, I'll catch you guys later. And for CT Pittman and anybody else who's into gaming, I'll see you on that battlefield. Peace.